Hey guys, welcome to the pod.
Thanks for tuning in.
Blake and I decided that we wanted to start a podcast. And the reason we wanted to do that is to create a space for us to be real, to document our life, and to share our experiences with life, but also with wedding planning.
Yeah, and like Phoebe said, we've both been wanting to start podcasting for a while, so we figured why not do it today.
We hope to bring honest conversations, all of our chaos, and everything in between. So we figured today we would start off by talking about our relationship story because we recognize that some people know it and some people don't know it, and where we're at in terms of the wedding that's coming up, um, and then what to expect moving forward on this podcast.
Yeah, so let's dive into it.
Blake and I met how most people our age meet nowadays.
Yes. We met through the internet.
We met on Facebook dating, which is not a normal, I would say, dating app for people. When you talk to people about what dating apps they're on, it's usually Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, but nobody ever really talks about Facebook dating.
No, I actually liked like if you look back at all the like apps, I actually enjoy Facebook dating.
I think Facebook dating is a super comprehensive dating app. And it's funny that we sit here and we're evaluating like the nuances of dating apps, but I really did enjoy how easy it was to use, but also the connections it created in terms of if I was on somebody's profile, a prospective match, I could see if I had any mutuals with that person. And if I was considering going on a date or considering talking to this person and I knew one of their mutuals or our mutuals well, I could reach out to them and say, hey, so and I matched. What do you think of this person? Do you think we'd be a good fit? Yada, yada, yada. However, how did Blake and I meet on Facebook dating if I am from Minnesota and Blake is from Texas?
That is a question we both kind of not really want, kind of wonder. So,
We do wonder
yeah,
because we don't have the answer to it.
we don't. So originally, like I said, I'm from Texas. My radius for Facebook dating, since Texas is a giant state, it was set to 50 miles from where I was living.
Mine was also 50 miles. And when Blake and I matched originally, I thought he was a bot. I thought he was fake. I thought maybe his profile pictures were edited, his height was incorrect. There were so many questions running through my mind of like, is this real? Is this not? Who's running this account? It can't be Blake. Because he had some very, very attractive pictures on there. And I think you had your height listed as 6'1".
I did. I,
For the record, he's only 6 foot
I just found that out.
on a good day.
Just found that out on a good day. No, 6 foot. But I mean, I always thought I was 6'1", but just found out recently that I am 6 foot.
My profile is accurate. I am short. I'm shorter, I should say, but it was accurate. So we got to talking on Facebook dating. And if I perceive you as somebody or perceive you as somebody that I would actually talk to in the real world and entertain in conversation, I try to initiate that on Snapchat or texting or become actual friends on Facebook or whatever that looks like. And so I don't know if we exchanged numbers right away or if we exchanged Snapchat,
So we had
which is so 21st century.
so initially after we matched, I want to say I think we spent like a day or two talking on the app, and then
The app, though, is so hard to talk on because it's like it'll say, I think it sends notifications like Blake sent you a message or whatever.
I will say yes, it does send you a notification, but the notification settings on there are quite tricky. Sometimes it would say they would message you or
Were you just getting that many messages?
no. But it would like so say you messaged me, it would sometimes would say you didn't message me and I'd go in the app itself to look at my messages and then your message would be there, but it would never
I
notify
see.
me, even though I had notifications on for it.
So, to make a long story short, chatting on the app was inconvenient. So we moved to,
Texting.
was it
It
texting?
was texting. Yeah, I was like, I want the phone number.
Oh, Blake wanted the phone number. Oh,
Yes.
maybe I asked you for Snapchat to see if you were actually legitimate. Anyways, we talked for like 2 weeks
I think so.
before Blake went rogue. He disappeared into thin air.
I did.
It's a true story.
Yep. I was a bad boy.
It's a true story. And then I texted him probably a week later after not hearing anything from him because I did thoroughly enjoy our conversation. He was always trying to talk to me on the phone, and I was like, no, 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 no. Like, I don't want to do that yet. Like, we're just talking. So I texted him probably a week later and I just said, "Hey, I'm just checking in. I'm making sure everything is okay. If you're not interested anymore, that's totally fine. Just let me know."
And I was very interested. I think we winded up FaceTiming and kind of talking and what we expected of each other and what we were looking for. So
You make it sound like it was an interview.
no, no,
It
but
was not an interview.
it wasn't. But because it was my first ever like long distance relationship, and we both wanted to make sure we wanted the same values that we were looking for.
We had the same values and wanted the same things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
He was very, very, very nervous to talk to me on FaceTime for the first time,
I was. It,
which I thought was so funny because the entire time he was pressing me to FaceTime. Oh, I want to FaceTime you. Oh, I want to talk to you on the phone. Oh, this, oh, that.
I was
And
very
then
nervous.
I answered the phone when he called and he's beat red in the face. I'm like, are you okay? But we tried to talk every day. There were some nights I couldn't talk because of my work schedule. There were some nights that he couldn't talk because Jackson was there. And so we just made that work the best that we could. But on weekends, we usually talked
The
on
week,
FaceTime as much as we could. Our record is 22 hours, I
yes,
think, for FaceTime.
yes. The weekends were our longest that we would talk.
And people are like, oh, 22 hours? That's a really long time to be on the phone. You also have to take into consideration that some of that was sleeping. So it's not that we were actually talking to each other that much. We also did go about our days. If there were things that we needed to do, run errands, whatever, Blake would just come with via FaceTime.
Yeah, felt like I was there in real time.
So then you fast forward several months to when I actually met Blake in person. I went down to Texas to meet him for the first time. And I was not nervous. And I think a lot of that has to do with all of the behind the scenes work we did before that. I think my feelings would have been very different had technology not been accessible the way that it is today. Because we spent so much time FaceTiming, because we were talking all the time, because it was phone calls, texts, Snapchats, whatever it was. I felt like I was going to see somebody that I have known for a very long time, which is a positive with internet dating is that you do have that access, but also can be a negative because then you're thinking all the time like, "Oh, why aren't they messaging me? Oh, why haven't I heard from them? Oh, why is their Snap score going up and they're not talking to me? Oh, why are they active on Facebook and I haven't heard from them?" Like there are some negatives, especially in a relationship, a new relationship, with the internet. But I feel like that was a big factor in why I was so confident and comfortable going to Texas to meet him for the first time.
Yeah, I was I guess nervous in a good way whenever you were coming down, but also in my head I'm like, oh, I hope she actually, even though we were FaceTiming. pretty much 24/7. I was just like, oh, hopefully she likes me when she meets me, and what if she doesn't? Like, how are things going to go?
Yeah. So I had a very long travel day because Blake is from a very small town in Texas, and the closest international airport to where Blake lives is 2.5 or 3 hours away, depending on if you fly into San Antonio or Houston. And so I flew from Minneapolis to Houston and then from Houston to Corpus Christi, which, if anybody from Texas is listening, Corpus Christi and Victoria are very good options. You do have to connect in Houston or Dallas.
It could be either
Yeah,
or.
it's both. But it's a really, really, really good option, especially if you live Refugio, Woodsboro, wherever. It's really close. You can leave your car. You don't have to pay for parking. It's really, really nice, especially at Victoria. You don't have to pay for parking. But it is a really small commuter plane. Anyways, so I had a really long travel day and I got there and I got off the plane and immediately called my mom because I'm like, I really hope that I see him before he sees me, just in case. Like, I am in an airport, so there's always the option to turn around and go back in just in case. Just in case. Like, you get there and you're like, you obviously hope for the best. You wish for the best, but sometimes unfortunately it doesn't work out that way. So, I was headed down to baggage claim because I was staying for a little over a week. And then I got down to the bottom of the stairs and Blake came up from behind me. And I was like scanning the whole baggage claim. In Corpus, it's not a big baggage claim area. So I was scanning the whole area, being like, okay, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And what'd you say?
I was like, what are you doing?
And I spun around 360 degrees and I was like, Mom, I have to go. And my mom and I are best friends. We talk about everything. We talk all the time, multiple times a day. I'll bug her at work. I mean, she was very excited for me, but also very nervous. But then she knew that I was okay because I met him and that was my reaction. And then I stayed an extra day. And then Blake was really sad when I was leaving. His
Yes, I shed a few tears,
a few.
a lot.
You are an emotional guy. You don't like to be labeled as emotional, but you do have emotions, which I appreciate. I appreciate a very emotionally in tune individual, but more so a man who's in tune with their emotions. That green flag.
Thank you.
So, visited right after Christmas through the first of the year, and then I went home, and then I came back 2 weeks later. And that time I think I flew into Victoria. It doesn't really matter, but I flew into Victoria. I did because your mom picked me up from the airport.
Yep, I was at work.
And then I was only there until Sunday. And then February, Blake came to Minnesota for the first time.
For Valentine's Day.
Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
It was very exciting. I had never been up here, so I didn't really do research either, so I wasn't too sure what to expect coming up here. But I knew I was just very excited to come see you. So we got up here and didn't prepare at all. Came in. I I came in like shorts and all this, but I remember you had said it was going to be cold, so I had jeans on and all that, and stepped, got into the parking lot and took a breath, and the cold, because I wasn't used to this cold, so the cold just took my breath away. I could not really breathe, but
Welcome to Minnesota in February.
yeah, but no, you picked me up, and the scenery was, even though it was cold, I don't think it wasn't snowing at the time. Everything was melted, but the scenery was nice. The houses were real nice, and it was a whole new experience to see compared to a super small town.
We went to Charles Wesley Godwin
That was a very great concert.
on Valentine's Day
Yeah, we had a great time.
with Maddie and Teddy. Those are my siblings. And it was really fun. It was in a smaller venue, which was really fun. Our first concert together. But it was a really fun, quick weekend. He got to meet Remy, my precious angel baby dog, and just see my life. I live in a much bigger city than Blake does. I have much better access. Not knocking Refugio, but I do have much better access. It takes 7 minutes to get to a Target. I have a Costco within 15 minutes, and anybody who knows me knows how much I love Costco. So it was fun for him to see my world and meet my people. He met my parents for the first time, met my grandparents who live here for the first time, my siblings. So it was a really fun weekend.
Yes, and we also played pickleball. That was really fun to
I
get
got
to.
Blake into pickleball, which I'm really excited about, but we have to get through the back break, which we'll get into a whole other podcast about the back break and the neck issues. But,
Yes.
anyways, so he was up here in February, and then I went back down to Texas in March to be with Jackson. That was the first time I met Jackson. We did the Refugio County Fair, and him and I spent a bunch of days doing little day trips. We went to some fun little spots together. And then we celebrated Jackson's 5th birthday. What did you just do? Oh, cut, 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 cut. Which was super fun. It was an astronaut themed birthday party. We invited family members to come over, and it was so fun to see him so excited. And then Blake decided that he was going to move to Minnesota, and we're doing the thing.
Yes, it is amazing up here. The food is wonderful. If you know me, I love my food. I'm a big foodie. Um, yeah, no, it's super nice up here. It's a whole new breath of fresh air, so I'm loving it.
Good to hear. So, fast forward, we're now in April of 2026, and we get married 6 months from now. We got engaged in June in Arizona. Jackson was there. We went on a really, 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 really challenging hike. To be honest, we did go the wrong way because I had hiked Lake Pleasant. If you're familiar with Arizona, we were at Lake Pleasant. And there's this fabulous hiking trail, but it's more of like a walking trail. And my only request when we were in Arizona was to go to Lake Pleasant because during the day, it's super nice to go down to the lake. But I did want to hike. I mean, you're in Arizona, you come from Minnesota where all the snow is, it's freezing cold. Like, yes, we're going to go hike. We did not hike. I mean, I think we were like beaten into submission basically in terms of like we had to get back up to the top after we had made the whole way down. And where we went down was like the boat marina, so there was not like an opportunity for us to get in the water and cool off. Keep in mind, Arizona in June, 115 degrees at 9 a.m. So it's hot. We have Jackson. We're with my two very good friends, Jordan and Alexa, and we're all sweating profusely. People feel like they're going to pass out. People can't get back up to the top. Like it was a mess. But when we got down to the bottom, I wanted to go to the pier. The only thing I wanted, well, I guess it's the point. I wanted to go to the point. I wanted to be on the edge of the water. I wanted to see all the boats. I'm like, if we're this far, if we've made it this far, that's all I want to do is get to the point so I can see all the boats, touch the water, and then we can try and make our way back up to the top. At one point, we contemplated ordering an Uber down to the marina to take us back up to the top because everybody felt so bad. We had ran out of water. Jackson was with us. He kept tripping over rocks. Like it was a horrible, horrible experience.
Yes, that I've hiked before, and that hike was probably the most challenging I've ever been on. I was
It was so unintentional too. Like there was no reason for it to be
no
so
the
hard.
the place I had picked out originally to propose. It was super nice. There were, I don't know, there were these yellow flowers. It looked nice, and yeah, there were definitely no flowers. Lots of rocks.
Lots of boats, trailers, sad children, sad adults. But I went to the point by myself because everybody was like trying to take a beat, sitting on the rocks, and nobody was following me. And it just didn't register to me that this could possibly be happening. Like, this is what was going on. And so I went out to the point, and if you recall in the beginning, when we talked about our airport story, Blake's phrase, whenever he gets a little bit nervous or whenever he's a little bit giddy about something, it's always, "What are you doing?" And so I'm standing out there and he comes up behind me. Alexa's got her phone out. Jordan has his phone out. And he says, "What are you doing?" And he's fumbling around in his pockets. And all I kept saying is, "No, no, 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 no." Not like, "No, I don't want to marry you." But no, like I'm so hot and sweaty and feel gross, feel dehydrated and nasty. Like, not right now. I'm as beet red as a tomato. Like, I look horrible. Not the ideal proposal story or spot.
Yeah, I mean, it was considering all the conditions, but I've it was beautiful.
Yes, he had a very nice speech written up that he said to me, and he asked me to marry him. I'm pretty sure I said yes, but the immediate question following, because I heard this big clunk in the water, Jackson was sitting there throwing rocks. Jordan and Alexa were watching him while also trying to take pictures of us at the same time. I was like, "Is Jackson in the water?" Like, that was my only concern. But then, of course, we had to get back to the top.
Yes, but yeah, no, he was just throwing rocks in the water, enjoying his time.
I did say on the way back up, because we were on the point, but then you walk across a bunch of what I would consider flat rocks to where you would ascend back to the top. And we get to that point where we have to go back up. And I looked at everybody. I'm like, "Listen, this is every man for themselves. Like, I cannot wait for nobody. I cannot help anybody. I'm not in the business of watching, managing, nothing. I have to get to the top. I'm dehydrated. I feel like I'm going to pass out. Good luck." Poor Blake had to carry Jackson on his back.
Yeah, dad mode was activated, but no, it was
We all
he
got
was
back
fine.
to the top and it was good. It was fine. We all had to sit in the car for like 15 minutes before we could even relish in the fact that we were engaged and how exciting and wonderful that was. But
Yeah. And then we went swimming after.
all day long. I think we got back to the house probably at noon and we were in the pool probably until 8 or 9 p.m.
Yeah,
It was so nice. Exactly what I would have wanted for my engagement.
no, it was a good time.
Yeah. And now we are 6 months away from the wedding day. We are getting married in September, September 19th, 2026, here in Minnesota. We are going for more of like a rustic Western type vibe because we would love to tap into Blake's culture, his Texas culture a little bit, while also keeping in mind that I love all things country. I grew up um, on a dairy farm. I didn't actually physically live on a dairy farm. My uncle owned and operated a dairy farm. And so I'm no stranger to farm animals, cows, pigs, horses, donkeys, and have always loved that kind of stuff. I adopted my dog Remy because she looks like a Holstein cow. So, tapping into that a little bit, we're very excited. It's going to be a blast. There are a bunch of people invited. I think the last time we looked at our guest count, it was at 260 people. So if you're one of those 260 people, you better come to the wedding.
Yeah, we're so excited to have each and every one of you.
But you have to come if you are invited. It's a must do. Blake's looking at me like, you can't say that to people, but I really can. We do want to talk on another episode of this podcast just about all of the things that comes with wedding planning. We have struggled a lot with wedding planning, and I think the root cause of that is unfortunately our wedding venue. And if we would have known these things going into it, we talk about this all the time. We love the wedding venue. There's nothing about the space that we would change at all. It is perfect for what we envisioned. It's the only one we toured. We signed it within 2 days of touring it. I took my mom one day. We took my dad and his wife the next day, signed the day after that. Like we were all in on it from the get go. However, had we been a little more invested in what we were signing for, I do not think we would have signed.
I don't think so either. I guess my biggest concern too, like I mean, with the wedding, we don't really know too much into detail, but I wish we would have toured more and kind of knew what we were, I guess, getting into.
There were a couple other places that we really wanted to tour. There were a couple other venues. But like I said, there's nothing about this space that we would change at all. Bridal suite, beautiful. Ceremony site, amazing. Groom suite, the guys are going to have fun all morning long. We're never going to see them.
Best day ever.
The reception, it's fabulous. The cocktail spaces are amazing. Everything about it is perfect. What we signed for, we're not happy with at all. And so navigating that, especially getting closer to the wedding, like we've had vendors cancel on us. And so we just have like a lot of things we can talk about when it comes to signing for your venue, choosing a venue, and all of what comes with that. I don't think we're going to name drop
No,
our venue purely because A, if you're coming to the wedding, you're going to find out. But B, we don't want any backlash, I guess, because it's our experience. And so you can't penalize us for sharing our experience or our thoughts. And we're not doing anything wrong. We're not taking any legal action. We're not accusing them of, you know, I don't know how to say this. We're not accusing them of taking advantage of us.
we're trying not to tarnish them.
We're not trying to tarnish their reputation. We're just simply saying, hey, if you're going to sign with a place that does this, I suggest you look at other options to make sure that's exactly what you want. And there are a lot of people who love this place. There are a lot of people who have signed for this place, and a lot of people, I mean, their calendar is constantly booked. So it's not that it's a problem, right? Some people just really enjoy the, I guess, rigidness of what they offer.
I think
We did not.
yeah, I think it's more of just our preference.
Yeah.
So
We love flexibility. We love to be able to make our own decisions. We love to be able to collaborate, especially living in Minneapolis. There are tons of amazing local vendors. So our experience is just a little bit different. And had we known what we were getting into and not having these blinders on of how amazing is this, we got this wedding venue. We're so excited about this. This is exactly what we want. It might have been a little bit different, I think.
I think so.
So, moving forward, we're really hoping that you guys will tune in. We haven't necessarily decided when we're going to record or when we're going to drop episodes. It might be a little infrequent in the beginning just because A, we still don't have a podcast name, but B, we're still trying to figure this whole thing out. And so it might be a couple times a month. It might be every week. It might be you see us again after the wedding. Who knows?
Yeah, but no, this was a great experience. I hope everyone enjoys this. Definitely leave your opinions and thoughts with us, and yeah, we'd love to hear your feedback.
With that, we hope to see you guys on the next episode. If you've listened the entire half an hour, we really appreciate you. Leave your comments, leave your thoughts. Message us if there are things that you want us to talk about. Message us if there's things that we said that you're like, why did you say that? Message us about anything and everything.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you next time. Bye.